sun has come out just in time for the Easter sales. What does this time of year mean to you?
Well, it means a lot to us in a lot of ways. First of all, it's a very exciting time because Easter sale time is also Easter carnival time, the autumn carnival, where the best horses come out to compete and the best trainers and the best jockeys against each other. And then, of course, it's the time where we generate about 60% of our farm's revenue from the sale of yearlings. So that's a really important time for us, but also an exciting time because you go to the Easter sale with a very nice draft of horses. You've done your best in mating them the right way to get the best genetic cross. They're good physical individuals, they're athletic and everything else, but you're in the laps of the gods as far as what they're going to fetch. It's a question of people bidding for them and hoping that you get a reasonable price for them, because that will go towards paying the salaries and keeping the farm going for another year.
Is it a nervous time for you?
Oh yes, very nervous. The thing is, it's a business that's very lumpy. When you think that a big important percentage of our revenue will come in the space of 2 days. Generally, businesses have their revenue come, you sell each day and you get income each day. Here, it's a big lump at this time of the year. So it is an important time and it's a nerve-wracking time as well.
We've seen some of the yearlings paraded this afternoon. They look sensational. You forget that they're such babies, but they are exquisite.
They're exquisite, and I can say very proudly about my team here, they're very good at preparing them for the day, toning them up, teaching them to walk, etc. And we're very proud of the draft we have this year. We have 47 yearlings, 25 colts and 22 fillies, and every one of them could be a top horse. I'm proud of a lot of them.
In terms of the sale, of course, this year does feature the last of the Redoute's choice yearlings. How does that feel for you?
Well, the minute you start mentioning his name and telling me that we're coming to the end, I get goosebumps. I really do. And because, as I've said before, our farm was built on the back of Redoute's choice. He made a huge difference to us, but he also made a difference to the Australian racing industry because his blood now runs through the veins of some of the best stallions, some of the best broodmares. He's leaving a real legacy for all of us. So he's a real loss, he's a major loss. So much so, Julie, that when he did die, we couldn't get ourselves, the team here couldn't get ourselves to put him on a truck and move him to the grave. We virtually buried him in situ. We couldn't face the prospect of driving through the farm with the king of the farm on the back of a truck, dead. We couldn't face it. So we buried him in the stallion area. It was a very, very sad day. And, you live in this business for finding a replacement for a horse like that. Well, luckily for us at the moment, we have one of his sons who's doing the job, but I think Redoute's is in very much a class of his own.
I mean, I get emotional listening to that. Yeah. Like, how is that for you?
Yeah, very emotional. The last interviewer that asked me the question, I got a tear in my eye and she started crying. So it didn't end well.
Maybe so it's the effect of you on us.
So it's very emotional, and these horses become part of the family, and they're so interwoven with us over 20 years of a career, or 22 years, or 23 years, that they're just part of the family then, and they're part of the fabric of everything that you do. You talk about them every day, you raise their sons and daughters, and so it goes on. They're like children, really, at the end, and it was a massive loss when you have one so successful and so well known and so respected as he was.
What are you anticipating the reaction to his final lot of yearlings?
It's hard to say. They will be collector's items, and I think that there will be enthusiasm from buyers for them. And the interesting thing about Redoute's is the quality of his stock didn't wane as the years went by. In the last couple of years, 2-3 years, he's produced some of his better ones, including the Autumn Sun, who's probably maybe the best son he's ever produced. The quality hasn't waned, and so there's no reason why people won't be enthusiastic to secure one of his last few sons or daughters.
Do you get favourites? Is that like asking who your favourite child is?
Yes, it is a bit like that because we see them from the time they're born.
Exactly.
And we get attached to a particular one that catches your eye, and you go and try and follow his development. And in this year's case, there are 2 or 3 that we loved when they were born, and they have continued to grow in the same vein, and they're just magnificent yearlings. So I'm hopeful of a good sale.
John Messara, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you. Thank you.
My pleasure, Julie. Thank you.